Hey everyone, Captain Tech Review here, and today we're going to talk about the 1 year later review of the LG Watch Sport. Is it still worth getting after a year? Is it still worth considering if you're looking for a smartwatch? Well, tune in and find out. Hey everyone, Captain Tech Review here, back to do my 1 year review of the LG Watch Sport. Before I begin, I want to first thank my sponsor, my wallet, for sponsoring this video and providing the LG Watch Sport for your viewing pleasure. If any of you like to support my sponsor, as you can see, needs a refill, please let me know and we'll work out the details. But thank you to my sponsor for making this video possible. So let's first talk about how this has been for me in the past year, how it's actually held up physically. Just for the use case, I work in an office, right? I'm not a construction worker or anything like that, so I'm not beating this thing up. I also don't work in a harsh environment. I actually like to take care of my stuff, so I'm actually not tough on my devices. So with that said, I haven't had any issues with it holding up to my everyday wear and tear, if you will, my everyday use, my everyday wearing. Now what I did when I first got the watch out, a lot of people were concerned about the bands not being removable. One thing for customization, the other thing for how well will they last. So as you can see, this is where I use my classes, where I fasten the band. And for most watches, after a certain period of time, from the oils in your skin will interact with this material and begin to crack here. And as you can tell, this band has pretty tough stuff. It's very durable, and there's no evidence of any of that type of malfunction. Yeah, sure, there's some finish wear on here from wearing it every day, and this thing has held up also. I haven't had any issues with that. The only problem I actually do have with this is I do have to keep readjusting it. I'll have it on, and sometimes it'll move up. All right, let me move it out here where I'd rather have it, and then sometimes it'll just fall off from twisting my arm and my shirt. Other than that, it's been fine. For the most part, the thickness hasn't really been too much of a problem. If I do have a shirt that has a tighter collar, obviously it is a problem getting it over the watch, but that would be any watch that's actually quite large you'll have that issue. But for the most part, I haven't had any issue with that. And the screen is held up really well, to some dings in here and there. And I actually have little smudges here. I actually do have a little tiny nick at the very bottom, just above my thumb. You can kind of see it there, right there. When I was building my Ryzen system, I accidentally hit one of the corners of the metal on the inside, and I felt it. I'm like, oh no. At first I didn't see the scratch, and then when the light just shines just right, I can see it. But for the most part, you can't really tell. But overall, it's held up really well to the everyday use. I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. The finish is held up really nicely. And once again, I work in an office as my day-to-day job, so I'm not in a harsh environment. So your use may vary, but for me, it's held up really well. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now let's talk about some of the new additions and features that they've added over the past year to the software to help make this device actually better usable, a little more enhanced experience. First couple things. Now this little menu screen here, they kept it darker, make it nice, so makes it look cooler, I guess. And then they've added back the little LTE signal or indicator for when you connect to the cell. And I left that on there so I can show you guys that. So let me shut that off now. Go back to here. Of course, they have these nice little sounds also. I'm just making up it's me doing that, obviously. I'll stop that now. And the other thing is they kind of resized some of the text for the notifications to make it easier to read. And they also kept that dark background theme, like a black screen also. What they haven't done it with yet is the settings menu itself. See it kind of lightened up there. I'll go back. It's black. And it kind of lightened up. Hopefully they'll make these screens dark as well. If anyone's watching, please add dark screens to the menu. Also, you see we have apps and notifications. Nice feature. You can now disable notifications for a particular app. So if something is annoying you and keeps going to the watch, you can now control those notifications here. So if you're sick of Google Fit telling you stuff, hey, get off your ass, get moving, you can now shut those notifications off. All right. One other thing also, you can change the vibration pattern, normal, long, double. Nice couple little features. There are also some battery optimizations also to Android 8 that added to the device. I'll talk more about the battery a little later. Now, for those of you who have Verizon, I have this watch connected to the Verizon network. Now, probably with the event of Wear 24, the Wear 24 watch being killed, they're no longer going to support the Message Plus app, which is how I was able to take phone calls on the device. And thinking about it, really don't care about that really anymore. Only make phone calls with it. So with that said, I'm no longer going to take phone calls on cell data, but I'm still able to get messages and my notifications without the Message Plus app taking over the whole watch. And I kind of actually prefer the stock Message Plus, the Message app anyway. It has the full QWERTY keyboard, and I just like it. The experience is just better. Now, if you're a workout person, there's been some nice additions to Google Fit as well over the past year. And one major one, not to say it's a major one, but now what it does, I haven't worn the watch all day today, so there's no data here. Now this will actually track your heart rate constantly, and it pulls every 10 minutes. And you think, does that have an impact on battery? Well, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Unfortunately, you're not able to shut that off. I haven't been able to find the way to do that. When that feature was first announced, there was an option to shut that off, but for some reason it's not here. I do have it off in my Google Fit, not to have the watch send the data to Google Fit, so that's not happening, but it still monitors my heart rate every 10 minutes. Also, there's like a billion workouts you can now do. There's a massive list. They add all kinds of activities. You got couch watching and couch sitting, paint drying, watching, all kinds of stuff in here now. Pretty good. I'm not a big workout guy. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to test any of these things out. I work in an office. I don't really have a lot of time to go to the gym and work out. I guess that's just my own fault, but whatever. Anyway, that's some of the nice, cool little features. Also, what the watch or the Android system didn't have, the Android Wear system didn't have before, is you can now get out of my way, get out of there. You can now get out of here. Okay. You can now. Now it's not like breaking news that it does have. See his old keyboard. It's a little tough through the screen. You can now have Spotify, and I'll show you the other ones. This is the most exciting part of the review. Okay, so you can have Spotify, Wearify, Pandora, iHeartMusic, all now available on the Android device. When this watch was first released, none of these options actually were available. So that's actually been a nice addition. There's quite a few more apps added to the store, make things a little bit more usable. I'm a Google user, so I do have some Google type apps on here. Google Music and Google Keep, and a couple of things on here, whatever. But overall, as the device, after owning the device over the past year, there's been at least some nice enhancements that the device has grown into, along with the addition of some other applications, and of course the additions to Google Fit, which I don't care about. But it's actually nice that they've been on top of it. All right, battery life. So, I guess to sum it up, it actually has been good still. I did a battery review, an update review a little while ago. Actually, quite some time ago. You find it there. And at the time, the heart rate monitor was not always running every 10 minutes. Now it is. So I'm going to do another updated battery life video for this device. And what I hope to find, unfortunately, it's not apples to apples. I'm not able to shut that heart rate monitor off. But keeping everything else the same, so far I found it actually has same battery life as it did before. Now that's actually better since now it is always monitoring my heart rate every 10 minutes, and I'm still getting the same battery life I was without it. That's actually quite an improvement, to be honest. Now, hopefully, I'm able to shut that heart rate monitor off, actually see how much better the battery life actually is without it. But it is what it is for now. Now, as one thing I actually did not mention is they also added a feature for battery saver mode. So you can enable this. So, if you're out, you're going out, you're going to the club, go to the club, yeah. And you want to get a little bit extra battery life out of your watch, you're not able to go back and charge it. You can turn this on and limit the vibration, the radios, app updates. Of course, you won't be able to use always on display, which is the biggest offender of battery life drainage. That gives you a nice little, probably boost to battery life. I haven't done a full test of that mode yet to see how much improvement you actually get. So I'll be doing another updated battery life video, especially with the new Android 8 and a couple of new features some of the updates they did with Andriod Wear 2. Now, over the past year, I've had some ups and downs. Andriod Wear, when they release updates, it would either mess something up in the device, make the Bluetooth overactive for no reason, and my battery life was going up and down, fluctuating. And at one time it was exceptional. I get an update and it in the pooper. Then they update it again and it come back. So for the most part, for the past basically 2 months, it's been exactly how it was when I made that original video. So about roughly 2 days. And it has been a couple times I come home, I'll be tired, zonk out on the couch, forget to charge the watch, wake up the next time, oh crap, I have to go to work, I don't have time to charge this. I wouldn't bring the charger with me, I should have. But I leave the house like 50% left of the watch. That's, having it on all day the day before. Go to work, come home, 5, 6 o'clock, and I still have like 15 to 20% left. So I'm actually, now of course I'm not working out, I'm not a super duper power user, so that's my use case. I can get 2 days. Yours, if you're going to work out and do all this other stuff, probably not. Listen to music, you're probably going to get 2 days if you're using it like that much. But for the most part, I've been very happy with how this has worked out. And one thing I did forget to mention with how well the watch has held up is the crown. The crown has worked perfectly for the past year. I haven't had any issues with it at all. It's worked very well. It's nice and smooth still. It's nice and smooth. It's not gritty. It's still work. The button still works awesome. So I mean, this device really has held up well for the past year. Would I recommend it again to someone looking for a new smartwatch? Absolutely. No, yep. I would definitely look at it and see if it's for you. Some people don't like the way this looks. To me, it doesn't bother me. I'm fine with it. Obviously, I've had it all year. But for the most part, it's been fine. If you are an Android Google user, I should say, this would be a better choice. And this is really the only watch that has a rotating anything besides the Samsung Gear S3. And if you haven't had a watch that has either the rotating crown or the bezel, you don't know what you're missing. Without that, it really is, having this is actually awesome. So just to be able to activate the screen, scroll through stuff without having to touch the screen, it's just great. So with that said, this actually is a very good device. It's probably I would argue, is one of the best Android devices you can still buy just because of this. I would argue this makes it the best. So once again, 1 year later review, LG Watch Sport held up its own. Still working good. Still going to keep it. Yeah. Okay, thanks again watching. Don't forget my sponsor, my wallet. Hey guys, don't forget me. And for those of you who subscribed, thank you very much for supporting me. I have not released a video in quite some time. I hope to remedy that going forward. It's been a busy year. I do have some new devices I'm going to review, so please stay tuned. Captain Tech Review over and out. Bye.